like to start by congratulating my dad on scoring such a hot wife. And congratulate Lana because you basically found a needle in a haystack. Because he's really hard to find out here.
Yeah, I know, I was good.
I knew Lana was a keeper long before I ever met her by the way my dad's eyes lit up when he described her to us. And when I met her in person, I can tell it was all true. That he had found a genuinely good and beautiful person inside and out. You're good. I could also tell there is something very special between them two by the way they tease each other, talk to each other every single day on the phone, and basically acted way younger than their age.
Pretty nice.
It's called immaturity.
I've never seen my dad this happy, and I've never heard him speak so affectionately and admiringly about anyone before. It was just last fall that he mentioned to us that he didn't think he would ever remarry. Not because he didn't want to, but because he thought that ship had sailed and prospects of love had all but dried up in his neck of the woods. But then like the sun shining through, Lana found him. And not only is she a wonderful woman, she's also a good cook. She knows her way around a sawmill, and most impressive of all, she laughs at his jokes. So now there's a ring on it, and it's basically no turning back. We thought we'd shared some stuff you may not know about him.
Oh no. They're gonna roast
I'm
you.
worried.
He grew up on a farm in northern Alberta with many brothers and sisters. At the age of 13 or 14, he was sent to study at the St. Boniface Seminary to become a priest. I'm glad he chose a different profession.
Me too. Lucy.
He's a very good cook, and he's not afraid to try anything either, like muskrat or beaver.
Mhm.
So mystery meat night might be an adventure for you guys. He'll always listen to your advice, and then do whatever he was going to do anyways. He's an excellent self-taught guitar player, a good dancer, and he likes to sing. You should ask him for a rendition of Ave Maria one day, but not today. Or Ave Maria, I should say. He doesn't gossip and believes that what other people think about him is their business. I've always admired that about him. He's got a quiet self-confidence. He doesn't boast, and he's not arrogant. He's humble, and he keeps learning, even at his age. He's a bit of a collector, and by collector, I mean hoarder. But you probably know that already. Avoid talking to him about Trump at all costs. Trust us. My dad, back in the day, was a hard-ass school principal who body-checked his students in the hockey rink and disciplined with push-ups. He knew how to inspire and motivate, though, and to this day, some of his students still come around to visit and have coffee. I don't remember the school principal days as I was too young, but I do remember his passion for collecting animals on the farm. All sorts of pheasants and exotic chickens and geese, rabbits, goats, horse, llama, turkey, not to mention the odd adopted ferret or fox. It was almost a zoo, and the younger grades from the school would come to the farm on school outings. On one of these school outings, the kids were being especially rambunctious and disrespectful, going into cages, kicking and disturbing nests, running after animals, and so on. The teachers, on this occasion, were especially nonchalant about supervising their students, and that didn't sit well with my dad. So, on their way out, my dad gifted several of the students with something they probably still remember: pheasant eggs. Old, rotten pheasant eggs. Now, there may or may not have been a few mishaps on the bus ride home. Who's to say? All we know is that they never came home. They never came back. I don't know if we're privy to all my dad's prank stories, but he was certainly a prankster. Nathalie shared a story of a time they were driving and found a dead skunk on the road. Most people, like you and I, would just keep driving. But my dad saw an opportunity. He shoveled up the dead skunk in a garbage bag, threw it in the trunk, and left it in his brother-in-law's garage. Fair warning to your brothers. Our dad's a smart and interesting man. There are certain things that he took particular interest in, like foreign affairs, birds. He could tell you what kind of bird it is just by hearing it sing or by looking at its nest or his egg. Except he doesn't like sapsuckers.
No, he got some of them this morning. I just glad none have come run through the wedding or he'd have to run into
Because they kill trees. So trees is another one of his interests, of course. And he'll be able to tell you what kind of tree it is just by looking at the bark or the leaves or the wood itself. He knows bees. He knows his Greek mythology. But best of all, he knows the meaning of love and family.
So if everybody can grab their glass. Lana, we'd like to welcome you to our family. Thank you for marrying our dad.
My pleasure.
Anyways,
We will leave you with a final word of advice. A couple who saws logs together stays together. So here's to Lana and Reno.
Thank you.
Cheers.
merci beaucoup.
Now we have some video, but I'm not sure how we're going to work that. Do you have any idea?
Well, maybe Christian.
What's that?
Can you guide us through this? Or?
Which part?
Well,
Well,
The-
we're gonna say. Does anybody? Derek, Derek
there's-
wants to say something.
Sure. I'm Derek. I'm obviously not very good at remembering dates. And I was going to use this evening to kind of write some stuff down, but that didn't happen. But I guess I was kind of summarized what I was going to think of, what I was going to write about was just like I haven't had a lot of time to spend with you yet. That was not a plan that was going to happen, but just from everything I've heard about you, from pretty much everyone, and just the way you like my mom, and just nothing but smiles coming from her. Just been wonderful to have you come along and join our family, and
thank you.
yeah, I just wish you guys all the best.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Hopefully, like during the next proper wedding, I'll have a proper speech.
You and me both. I'll be French. You'll have speech. Yeah, it's a plan.
Thank you very much.
Derek. Okay, so let's welcome Reno.